Hi, welcome back to part 2 of my renovation tips video. There are lots of very positive and kind comments left in my part 1 video that is looking forward to this part 2. So I really want to say thank you and I really appreciate all these comments. For those that haven't watched part 1, I put the video link inside the YouTube card. You can go check it out later. Once you're done with those pre-planning work, next is to look at the design. There are no right or wrong to this, so I want to clarify upfront first that the tips that I'm going to share with you are designs that I personally prefer, which also considering the practical use. Make use of a software that is able to help you to make some of those design decisions. Rachel's Tan channel uploaded a video, which I will link that inside the video description, where she made use of a software called Planner 5D, which is able to help you do some layout planning, design, and it has a long list of product category that you can make use. Anyway, it's free and easy to use, so do check out that video. Because many times during my renovation journey, I have difficulty visualizing how the different color combination of items will look when they all come together. For example, my sofa, I don't know whether to go with grey color or beige color. The ceiling fan, black or white color. Like for my fridge, there is black, white, silver. So with the help of the software, I believe it will definitely help you a lot. Okay, I don't know how much I should stress this, but please ask your electrician to do concealed wiring. Every time I watch those house tour videos, and especially those that spend a lot in renovation ones, whenever I see those big switch box with cable trunking everywhere, I'm like, hiya! To me, this is a big red flag. If the points are like hidden, I mean literally hidden in some cabinets or something, then it's alright. I'm at this part of the living room, somewhere in the middle of the house, and I see a lot of houses overcrowding a lot of switches around this area. I would say, as much as possible, try to keep this part clean and simple. For my case, I only have 2 switches, one to control the corridor light and another one to control the study room. That's all. There is also a lot of cases where you need to combine electrician work and carpentry work together. So for example, okay, this is the wardrobe and you can see that electrician work concealed inside the carpentry. This is for a bedroom wardrobe. Be very consistent with the type of switches that you're going to put, and if possible, try to make it like an even number. So for my case, I have 4 switches here, so I place a 2 gang plus 2 gang switch instead of a 3 plus 1, And also the color of the switches that you can change to suit the color of the wall. So for example, I know for this side of the wall, I'm going to do something dark color. So I place a gray color power switch. There are some brands that have quite a number of color selections you can choose. The placement of the nail router is very important because that will affect the Wi-Fi signal strength. So definitely you will not want it to be placed beside the DB board or anywhere inside any of the cabinets. Ideally, you want to place it somewhere open where there isn't too many obstacles around, and somewhere at the tabletop height would be good. For the kitchen sink, I'll recommend those with round edges because it's much easier to clean. I know the squarish one looks more sleek and stylish, but when it comes to cleaning, at the sides and especially at this kind of corners, it will be so difficult to reach and it will get really very dirty. So recommend round edges sink. This is the window connecting from the kitchen to the service laundry yard. I would say consider changing away that HDB default classroom window design. To me, it doesn't look very nice. Anyway, it's not expensive to change to this kind of fixed glass panel also. And those kind of classroom window design can be found inside your toilet as well. So let me show you what I changed. This is the toilet window that I changed away from the default HDB one. It's really not expensive to change to this kind. It's much nicer, right? For toilet basins, usually there are 2 types. The first type is what you see over here, where I have the top basin flush together with the cabinets. The second type is where you have a smaller basin, usually in a squarish form or like a bowl, sitting on top of the tabletop, which means there will be a gap between the basin and the tabletop. So what happens is usually they will just silicone around it. This will be harder to clean and maintain because if you don't keep the basin dry or if you don't clean it regularly, that silicone around will have some orange or black color stain over time. In terms of design, this kind also appeals to me more. Anyway, after like 2 months of moving in, then I realized, what is this compartment for? So this is actually for you to put your things like that on top. Then you can use the basin. This next tip I mentioned before in my other video, so don't do that small little curb to separate the bathroom dry and wet area where you have the shower screen sitting on top of that little curb. But instead, do this kind of dip in, sink in. If you don't want this, you can also do like a platform about this height. So it's like a small step to the shower area. Both of this is going to look much nicer and overall easier to clean and maintain. In my previous video, I mentioned don't do unnecessary carpentry work, but there are 2 things that is a must do for me. The first one is kitchen cabinets. The next one will be this kind of customized carpentry bedroom wardrobes, because you can maximize the entire space you have. And in terms of cleaning wise, you don't need to worry about the dust collecting on top of the wardrobe. If you're going to do curtains, do it all the way to the ceiling, because somehow it will give you the illusion that your ceiling is very high. I know this ledge over here is very tempting for you to mount your curtain tracks here, but for blinds, it's okay, you can do it here, but for curtains, go all the way to the ceiling. And if you like to have more natural light coming into the room, avoid having curtains blocking the window even when they are fully open. So for my case, behind this is already the wall, so I can have all my curtains tucked at this side. And personally, I also like to have the curtains open and close from one side instead of coming from 2 sides. And if you like to have total darkness when you sleep, having blackout curtain is also very important. As houses are getting smaller and smaller, especially those condo bedrooms, I would say having ceiling fan is the way to go. Wall-mount fan looks a little bit outdated. Standing fan is just another obstacle when cleaning up the room. And if you think that Dyson fan looks stylish to have, I really dislike them. I'm not sure how the current version is, but the one that I used to have, they are expensive, noisy, the wind is not strong, and if you think that they are easy to clean, they are actually not. You know, those small little holes around the fan that is getting airflow intake, it will be blocked with a lot of dirt and dust, and when that happens, it will block off the airflow intake and make the wind coming out even weaker. So that part to clean is super troublesome. My next tip is don't go crazy with track lights. I mean, you can have a couple of them, but no need to go too extreme. I've seen some of the houses where almost every light points in the entire house, in the bedrooms, at the corridor walkway, the kitchen, the living room. You know, a lot of designs like to have one set shining at the sofa and another set shining at the TV console side. And some of them even have one end to the other end. And what's worse is they put a lot of those track light bulbs so close to each other. So to me, that's a little bit crazy with track lights. I don't know, this might be a personal preference, but I also think that track light is not that trendy anymore. Every open shelving or display is going to be a dust collector. So before doing any of these features, you need to take the cleaning into consideration. So like, are you going to have a helper to help you clean? And if you don't, are you going to clean it yourself regularly? Because they look nice initially, but once it gets dirty and dusty, it doesn't look good anymore. Unless the ceiling height is higher than mine, if not, I would not recommend you to do false ceiling because it will make the place look smaller. Like for my height, I'm not even very tall. When I do a tiptoe, I can easily touch this ceiling fan. So you might say that, okay, then don't put a ceiling fan. You put a standing fan. Of course, it will occupy some space. And if you still do a drop ceiling down, overall, the entire space will look even much smaller. If you're going to do carpentry TV console feature wall, I would not recommend you to do something that is like very disjointed, sitting in the middle of nowhere. But instead, try to do it like end to end. Like for example, this is one side of the wall and this is another side, the other end. Have the feature wall aligned nicely together with it, or have it connected to some sort of cabinets. Just don't do it like it's a very standalone thing. And I choose to do this kind of suspended cabinets instead of full height all the way to the ground is because this kind of suspended cabinets will somehow give you the feeling that the house is much bigger. If you want the house to feel more cozy, lighting actually plays a very important part. So I purposely didn't switch on any of my studio lights on me because I want you to have a feel and see how the actual lighting is. So avoid doing this kind of harsh direct downlight. I mean, you can have one, but you need not to have too many. For certain situations you can on this, but for my case, even I have one, I hardly even on this at all. But instead you want to do some cove lights, because cove lights will increase the coziness level of the house, like what I have down below. And also this kind of TV colored backlight, I really love this a lot because different colors that you change will really give a very different mood to the house. That's all from me. Hope these tips are helpful. If you have tips that you want to share with others, leave that in the comments down below. I'm sure everybody can benefit from it. Okay, you know what to do. Bye, and I'll see you in 2021.